If you want to see Ferrothorn do big damage, look at that. That move is not supposed to do any damage at all, but against the Gengar, it hurts. Shadow Punch, not enough to take us out. Complete wall. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Paul Twan 1, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at a team that I have built for the Great League Remix, featuring a Pokemon that was banned for the majority of Season 8, Pidgeot, making its glorious return to Go Battle League. But with that return comes some bad news. And I mean, it could be bad news or good news depending on which way you look at it. Feather Dance has been nerfed, as a result making Pidgeot a lot worse for Great League. It was kind of broken before, especially when the move itself was broken, so I guess it's fair that it got nerfed, but it doesn't really have too much play in the open Great League as a result of this change. So it is a good thing that Great League Remix is available, where I feel Pidgeot is still a very strong option. Now joining Pidgeot on this team is going to be a double legacy Dewgong and a Whiscash in the back. The Whiscash basically there for the steel type coverage because there are a lot of steel types in this meta, and Pidgeot I will be using as the lead Pokemon on this team. So Dewgong for the most part will be operating as a safe switch. If we lure out like a fighting type, we'll bring in Pidgeot. If we lure out an electric type, we'll bring out the Whiscash. This team does have a pretty decent rating overall on PvPoke. I think it's all Bs across the board, and we did manage to go 18-2 across 4 sets with this team. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 complete sets. I did include the reward screen for the final 2 sets at the end of this video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so we got a really fun Great League Remix team here to showcase, featuring Pidgeot with its glorious hair in the lead. And speaking of hair, my hair is kind of getting out of control. I have a hard time fitting it under this hat at this point, so if we do manage to reach 10,000 subscribers, maybe I'll do a video without the hat on. Let's hop into the battle. We got Pidgeot into a Golbat right here. Pretty solid matchup because of course the Golbat can't be going for the Shadow Ball with Pidgeot being part normal type, so just gonna go straight Poison Fang here and lowering the defense that is going to add up against the Pidgeot. So I'm going straight for the Brave Bird right here. You see Feather Dance requires a lot more energy now, so I go straight for the Brave Bird, taking out the Golbat. You love to see it. At this point the defense lowered, so I am going to swap out into the Whiscash here now. Swapping out to Whiscash, could make the argument maybe coming with Dewgong there would make more sense, but I was kind of basing that on a team comp read and assuming they didn't have a steel type in the back. Of course, if they did, it would have been GG. So a little bit risky to come in with Whiscash there, but thankfully they don't have a steel. So Greedent comes in, and notice we did land the Blizzard, and Whiscash was landing Blizzards like no tomorrow in this video. There are so many crazy nuke situations, so get ready for a whole lot of bang in this video. Greedent right here, super spammy. I thought I would beat it to the move here, that's why I shielded, and unfortunately we weren't able to, so not the best scenario. Gonna come back in with the Pidgeot right here, and the opponent actually swaps out into Froslass, which I like to see because they probably would have outpaced us to a move. So throwing the Feather Dance right here does get the shield, then we swap out into Dewgong. Now lowering the attack on the Froslass of course is going to benefit us quite a bit because this isn't a great matchup for Dewgong, but you could see with the lowered attack stat, that Shadow Ball not really doing anything. Water Pulse is going to hurt the Froslass right here, so the Froslass no shields left, that does heavy damage. I think at this point we could consider just farming down here, saving the shield. Super tanky Dewgong taking these Shadow Balls very, very well. Another move coming through. I was hoping it's only an Avalanche. It actually is another Shadow Ball, so it's a bit unfortunate. Opponent swaps out into Greedent, and thankfully for us, we are at the Icy Wind, which is going to take it out. And at this point, Pidgeot in the back, going to finish off the Froslass. They don't want the smoke, so we take game number 1 of a very impressive run we went on with this team. 18-2 overall, all the way up to rank 10. So a horrible lead right here. Pidgeot into Stunfisk, probably the worst lead you could see with the Pidgeot. So I swap out into Whiscash. At the moment I didn't notice, but it looks like the opponent was actually lagging here. Maybe they're game crash or something. Maybe they're just shocked by this Blizzard, because look at this, a lot of lag. Looks like they disconnected. No mercy from the Whiscash. Here it comes. Bang! There it is. Almost taking out the Stunfisk, but They didn't want the smoke, but now they're back. So I guess maybe their game just came back now. So a little bit unfortunate for the opponent there, and obviously a very difficult lead for us. But Whiscash has some play here against the Obstagoon. Look at this. We're going for another Blizzard right here because nobody ever wants to shield it. Huge damage. Swap back out into the Pidgeot. It's a Hypno in the back. So actually a pretty good matchup here for Pidgeot. And initially when I was running this matchup, I was thinking Thunder Punch probably going to threaten the Pidgeot quite a bit, but it's actually quite bulky, surprisingly. And Thunder Punch doesn't do too much. Granted, that's with a Feather Dance, so without that it would do a lot more. But even without the debuff, definitely able to survive 1, possibly 2. I mean, with the confusion, it's definitely not 2. But we take out the Hypno there with the Brave Bird. As you can see, we are absolutely landing all the nukes. A lot of mind games involved in this match. So Night Slash comes through. This game is basically over. But I think the opponent just wanted to see what our third Pokemon is here. So I'm going to no shield. Let this go down and bring in the third Pokemon. Let them know what the situation was, because they probably felt pretty mad about the, I guess, the lag in that first match with the Stunfisk, right? But we take those. I actually didn't notice that they were lagging there, else I would have probably stopped tagging, but it's so early, doesn't really matter at this point. Pidgeot into Shadow, Machamp, a great lead. Opponent swaps out into Grimer, so could just swap out immediately into the Whiscash, but I decided to bank some energy and then try to catch the move onto the Whiscash, actually a Crunch. And look at that, the defense drops. Crunch was one of the moves that did receive a buff for this season, so now has a chance to lower the defense. I believe it's 30%, but I swear every time I see it, it's 100%, because I don't think there's been a single time that somebody's used Crunch against me and it hasn't debuffed us. So the opponent, I think because they got the debuff, decided to try and play this out in the 1 or 2 shields, but Whiscash is just going to outspam, so they decided to give up that plan and come back in with the Machamp. And I didn't feel like I could get to the Blizzard because they'd probably throw a move. So I'm just going to go for the guaranteed damage here with the Mud Bomb and then swap out into Pidgeot. And it's a Rock Slide, probably going to knock us out. So I'm going to shield this up, hopefully farm down before they swap out, but not able to. Empoleon in the back, which is a little bit problematic. So I go for the Feather Dance first. I want to lower the attack here and then hopefully get to this Brave Bird. And oftentimes they're not going to shield the second one, right? Because they don't expect you to get to a Feather Dance and a Brave Bird immediately. But this opponent does shield, so very well played. We get farmed down now by the Hydro Cannon, so I decide to come in with the Whiscash, hoping that they will throw energy here, because I believe we could get to a Mud Bomb if they decide to just farm down. It would be very close, but thankfully for us, the opponent does throw energy, and that means Dewgong could come in here. And basically at this point, it's in the range of 1 Water Pulse more or less, so we have to look out for the swap. There it is, but that gives us the free farm that we needed, and this energy is going to allow us to get to the Water Pulse, which should be just about enough to take out the Empoleon right here and take this game. 1 more Ice Shard. There it is, taking that game with the Dewgong against Empoleon. Pretty tough team comp in the back after a very positive lead for us. So hopping into the next battle here, we got Pidgeot into another Machamp, this time not the Shadow. Pretty much plays out the same way. And of course, these counters are actually hurting quite a bit because the Pidgeot is part normal type. So at this point, it makes sense to go for a Rock Slide, so I'm just going to shield this up. Even a Cross Chop would still hurt, and they swap out into Froslass. So I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird right here, either dealing heavy damage or just getting the shield. They do shield it up, so I come in with Whiscash here. I mean, I don't know if Whiscash is the correct play here. Probably better to come in with the Dewgong, but at this time, it just felt right to come in with the Whiscash. So, you know, a lot of these matches are situational, kind of guessing what the opponent has in the back. I felt like for this particular matchup, kind of Whiscash made a bit more sense. So I felt Dewgong will probably have more play against whatever they have in the back, but considering their leader was Machamp, also don't want that aligned, right? So it's very important to win switch advantage here, of course, which is what I'm trying to do, as you see, because I need to keep that Dewgong away from the Champ, even though it is very low, and they come back in with the Machamp, so I swap out its Pidgeot. We're actually able to farm down before they throw a move, and it's a Gengar in the back, so that is absolutely beautiful for us. Look at Feather Dance. You want to see Feather Dance do big damage. Look at that. That move is not supposed to do any damage at all, but against the Gengar, it hurts. Shadow Punch, not enough to take us out. Complete wall. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. Backs out of the match. We are going to take that game. So let's hop into the next battle right here. We got Pidgeot into a Porygon 2. Porygon 2, very spicy pick, and definitely I guess it's somewhat got a buff with Zap Cannon now. So this is too early to be a zap cancel, so I'm probably not going to shield this first one. No, we let it go through. It's only a tri-attack. Thankfully, we don't get the debuff. So going to go for the Brave Bird right here. A lot of people haven't been shielding the first one. So let's see this opponent does. So I'm going to swap out into the Whiscash. I didn't really want to come into Dewgong because they could build up to a Zap Cannon. Lock on is just so quick. So decides to come in with the Whiscash, and look at this. We're building up for the Blizzard. So I'm going to use one shield right here. And then if it's a Blizzard and it goes unshielded, it's going to knock out the Machamp. But is the opponent expecting? We have two Mud Bombs. Bang! There it is, Machamp getting absolutely thrashed by the Blizzard. And here comes another Mud Bomb. So Whiscash, I really like it because it's super spammy, has a lot of play in this meta, able to farm down before the Porygon 2 gets to the move. It's like Golbat in the back. Right now, if you just want to win, just swap immediately into Dewgong, it's GG's. But I decided to shield here, go for the Blizzard. I wanted to prolong this matchup and just give all three of these Pokemon some play, you know, kind of mess around in these early ranks. Definitely not the optimal strategy right here because you're giving this Pidgeot farm, right? So at this point I come in with my own Pidgeot to force the Golbat to throw some of its energy. Poison Fang, hoping to get to this Feather Dance right here, which we are able to do. This is going to lower the attack on the Golbat. Not that it's really necessary at this point, but Dewgong going to come in, full health. The Golbat's going to get absolutely demolished here. They'll probably throw a Shadow Ball, but they've been debuffed already once. Let's see how much this does. Not much at all. You can see Dewgong extremely tanky. Opponent gets farmed down and we take that game. Believe we are off to a 5-0 start in this first set. So very impressed with the team thus far. Let's hop into set number 2. So we were rolling on with the same team in set number 2. And let's see if we could keep the momentum going. Rank 7 right now. We got a Pidgeot. And what are we going to see from the opponent in the lead this time? It is a Mew. So Mew could be a bit tricky with Wild Charge, but even one Wild Charge I don't think actually is enough to knock out the Pidgeot. So pretty solid matchup overall. You can see Gust does a lot of damage. Gust of course is a legacy move. So shield the first one in case it is a Flame Charge, happens to be or in case it was a Wild Charge, I should say, it happens to be a Flame Charge, and then a Stunfisk comes in. So this Stunfisk is running Mud Shot as the fast one, so actually decides to come in here with Dewgong. I believe if it's running the Mud Bomb, it's actually a very good matchup for Dewgong despite the discharge hurting. So at this point I was trying to calculate whether or not I could complete a full farm down with the Ice Shard here before they get to another discharge, and I figured at this point it's probably just a Mud Bomb, which we probably should be able to survive. It happens to be a discharge, so a huge misplay on my part there. I mean, I didn't want to go down 2 shields anyways, but a bit unfortunate. The Mew comes back in, so I'm going to go for the Feather Dance right here, which will lower the attack. And then if they shield us, I'm actually going to go for the Brave Bird, either get the knockout or the second shield. And a lot of times, like I said, they don't expect the Feather Dance Brave Bird combo, and they didn't expect it that time. Taking it out, Victreebel in the back. So I actually decided to just sack the Whiscash here in order to reset the debuff on the Pidgeot. Of course, we did use Brave Bird. Victreebel can't really do too much to the Pidgeot, and we are able to get the shield with the Mud Bomb right there. So coming back in case this is something like a Sludge Bomb, I definitely want to shield this up. Happens to be a Leaf Tornado. The attack doesn't fall. Farm down the Shadow Vic. Take that game. Pidgeot on a 6-game win streak at this point. Let's hop into the next battle. We got Pidgeot into a Nidoqueen. So Nidoqueen, you would think this is actually a very good lead, but it's such a broken Pokemon with the Poison Fang buff, of course, that it could win this match past the 0 shield. So defense falls right there. And actually decides to just go straight for the Brave Bird, because as we've seen, a lot of people aren't shielding, right? It's 50-50. Decides to go for it. Taking out the Nidoqueen at the one shot right there. Swap out into the Dewgong, into an Obstagoon. So obviously not a very good matchup right here. And the Obstagoon is going to go for the Cross Chop. So we're just going to throw the Icy Wind at this point. And when I was looking at the simulation for this, it was actually saying that like Dewgong loses in the 2 versus 0 shields, but that was because for some reason the AI was going with straight Water Pulse, which you definitely don't want to do in that situation. You want to just go straight Icy Wind because you're going to lower the attack, right? And it happens to be a Ferrothorn in the back, which is quite problematic here for the team. So getting off this Icy Wind is really huge. And then Whiscash, of course, doesn't have too much play here. So I come with Pidgeot. We have 2 shields. If it's a Thunder, it's probably going to KO from this range, so I do decide shield. Seeing the Mirror Shot is really, really nice because now we know that they do not have Thunder, and I should be able to just shield this and then survive the next Mirror Shot anyways. So want to get off a Feather Dance right here to lower the attack, guarantee that we will survive that Mirror Shot. This Gust damage is super important at this point. We do get the shield right there, and this actually shouldn't be enough to take us out, but they might swap out into the Obstagoon, which is what they do, and they're going to throw energy. So at this point, what we want to do here is come in with the Whiscash and just farm down completely until we have a move ready to go against that Ferrothorn, and then hope that we win CMP. So Obstagoon here going to throw the Night Slash, and we are going to farm. Now at this point I actually wasn't sure if Whiscash wins CMP against Ferrothorn, because if the Ferrothorn has a move ready and we lose CMP, we're going to lose regardless. But I built up to the Blizzard, and like I said earlier in the video, there's a lot of blizzards right here. It's snowy weather. The Iceman came to play. Bang! There it is. About 6 HP bang right there. Taking out the Ferrothorn in style. We're going to win that game. Hopping into the next battle right here. We got Pidgeot into a Snorlax. Again, Snorlax uses Lick as its fast move, so a very good matchup for Pidgeot right here. I'll probably shield the first move, but I think when I looked at the simulations, it actually isn't necessary to shield the first one. So you could definitely play that out without shielding, but I wanted to keep this Pidgeot healthy, and also wasn't sure about the matchup at the time of battle. So go for the Feather Dance. This time they don't shield, so you can see it's always a mix, right? So I'm going to try and catch a Weather Ball onto the Whiscash, which we are able to do. That's huge right here, because Weather Ball isn't going to hurt us. Only threat really is Solar Beam, which is going to take them a very long time to get to. And if they do want to get to it, they're going to have to burn some shields, which probably isn't worth it. But this opponent does use one shield. And we're going to get to a second Mud Bomb right here. So if they shield this again, we have to shield the next move, because even if it's not a Solar Beam, they're not going to get to a third one or to a second one before we get to the next Mud Bomb. So shield this up for sure. It is the Solar Beam. That guarantees I'm not getting to a move. Snorlax comes back in, so we're just going to throw the Mud Bomb here, which I actually think is enough to take out the Shadow Snorlax. Yes, it is. And at this point, the opponent didn't want the smoke, so they backed out of the match without revealing the third Pokemon. So let's hop into the next battle right here. And we got Pidgeot into a Drifblim, which I was a little bit curious about, because of course the Hex isn't doing anything to Pidgeot, but the Icy Wind is going to add up. So I decided to shield here the first Icy Wind, figuring it would do the most damage. I'm just going to go straight for the Feather Dance here. Brave Bird should be enough to KO here, but I was expecting a shield, and the opponent actually let it go through, so I was kind of kicking myself at that point. But I know I could definitely survive the next Icy Wind, so no point to shield right here. You can see it's not really doing too much at this point after the Feather Dance debuff. I was a little bit afraid to farm down, but considering we could have survived the next Icy Wind, maybe that was the correct play, especially since we did sneak in a Gust, but totally fine. Opponent comes with Whimsicott, which makes me think they are very, very weak to Pidgeot here. So I'm going to throw this Feather Dance and then switch out to transfer that Charm onto another Pokemon, keep my Pidgeot alive. Oh no, I wasn't able to. Okay, so that's fine. Actually, no. Okay, so the reason I stayed in was because I wanted to maintain alignment here. So that's what we did here. So that's why I didn't swap out, let the Pidgeot go down. I wanted to keep this Dewgong aligned onto the Whimsicott. The reason I stay in here against the Whiscash is because I want to throw one Icy Wind first before swapping out into my own Whiscash to make this a guaranteed victory at this point for us. So the opponent's Whiscash probably going to look to spam Mud Bombs just in order to get their Whimsicott back in here. And my thinking at this point is, okay, well, they're probably going to try stalling the clock, so maybe the best thing for me to do is build up towards a Blizzard and then just take out the Whimsicott, right? So here comes the Whimsicott. I'm going to build up to this Blizzard right here. And I already said we land a lot of them in this video. You know what's coming. Bang! There it is. Whimsicott getting taken out by the Blizzard. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. And we're going to hop into the next battle right here. Whiscash putting on a show. Pidgeot put on a show. I really had a lot of fun with this team. I believe this is the final battle of this video. Pidgeot into Obstagoon. So pretty good matchup right here. And we do make a misplay in this game. So I let this first move go through here, which I think makes sense in case they do get the buff. And I decided to go for Brave Bird, which I think is a mistake in this match. Of course, if it lands, then, you know, 2020, but they shield, which forces me to swap out, and I can't come into Dewgong, of course, so I'm forced to come in with my only Steel-type counter. So that's why I don't like going for Brave Bird in that particular situation, because if they do shield, we're kind of in trouble, right? So maybe it just makes more sense to go Feather Dance in a situation like that where you can't really afford to bring out your only steel type counter. So Mud Bomb coming through, and I decided to throw the Mud Bomb here. You can make the argument that maybe I should have just used one shield and committed to a farm down, but didn't do that. Opponent lets the Obstagoon go down, which makes me think they probably are quite weak to Whiscash in the back. And confusion comes through. I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb right here and then look to swap out. No, I'm going to let it go down. Okay, so didn't transfer the energy there. And I'm probably going to come in with the Dewgong. Yeah, we do come in with Dewgong. And Thunder Punch, of course, it's not going to KO, but I do want to shield the first one. I was hoping that I could get to the Icy Wind before the next Thunder Punch, but unfortunately we're not able to. So I decided to shield here, which, you know, it's not the worst thing, especially if they're weak to Dewgong in the back. You know, keeping health on it makes a lot of sense, but unfortunately for us, the opponent is not weak to Dewgong in the back. As you're about to see, I do bring in the Pidgeot here to catch the Thunder Punch. Shouldn't KO. And we do get farmed down, but the Dewgong should be able to take care of the Hypno, but not that. Registeel in the back definitely did the Whiscash. The first loss ends a 9-game streak, and we end up going 9-1 overall in those 2 sets. We did have one more 5-0 and another 4-1, which I will put up on the screen right now. Got us up to rank 10. Overall, we went 18-2 with this team, which I think is very strong. You know, it is quite low ranked battles at this point, but still 18-2, pretty impressive record here, especially with a Pokemon that a lot of people thought didn't have as much play now because of the nerf to Feather Dance. So I had a lot of fun with this team, and I definitely would recommend it. One of the biggest threats you'll probably run into is something like Minun or Plusle, which actually could defeat the entire team with Grass Knot for the Whiscash as well, so that can be a little bit problematic, but aside from that, pretty strong team. Definitely would recommend it if you guys have the Pokemon available to you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.